All right. The rare notification did go out. You guys will have to let me know if you got any reminders for this. I didn't see a reminder, but at least there was a notification. I went live like 2 minutes early. Oh, give me a second. Pulling up the chat. We'll see how long this goes. I can feel my knee is kind of sore from yesterday. Just standing over that shot, those first couple, those are the first couple I hit. I can tell kind of putting any kind of weight on it. I can feel it kind of below my kneecap a little bit. We'll see how long this goes, but the goal of the stream here is to just work on the swing a little bit. So usually, I kind of mentioned it yesterday, but usually I don't have a ton of time just to work on my swing as much as I should. I feel like I'm either out here doing a live stream, recording a video, something along those lines, and I haven't done any kind of like actual swing work in a while. So part of my swing realization, new swing feel that I was talking about yesterday is trying to get the club back down to the slot and kind of stepping on the gas once the club gets down to about hip knee height. So the goal here is I'm just warming up for about 5 minutes or so, hitting some easy shots. Goal here is I think feel like I'm a little bit more warmed up and probably do the pause type of drop my hands kind of pump drill for probably about 30 minutes or so. And then after that, if you guys have any good swing drills for that type of feel of dropping that club at the top, giving yourself a half a second to kind of let the hands come down, and then the feeling of me stepping on the gas, so to speak, lower. If you have any drills, I can try those out, and then just probably hit some regular, if I'm feeling all right, regular fuller shots. Hey, what's up, Toast? One thing I did want to do, I looked, so I was having, if you guys caught the Hosel video, I've been having issues with some elevation type of stuff. So what I did originally, before the update, I was using 2,500 feet. Sorry for these people, for you guys out there that have heard this a bunch of times, but I try to let you guys know if I make any kind of changes. So I was using 2,500 feet which equates over to 5%, the same that I was using the 5% ball in the Square software. I was using that for a while, and then when was that? A few days ago, 4 or 5 days ago maybe, I dropped it down to 0 because of Joe Legowski's recent testing against the GC3. If anything, the ball speed was a little bit higher on the Square than the GC3. So between using the premium balls, the software update, the firmware update, I felt like I could drop it down and didn't need that extra help to where thought things were just a little bit short. However, so past probably call it a week or so, I've been using 0, And I did look up a topography, if I said that right, probably not, topography map earlier, and I got the actual elevation of an altitude of my house. So I'm gonna put that in. It's a little bit different on the site that I found. You could literally click, like zoom in really far and click around. So there's like a 2 foot, 3 foot difference between like the mailbox, the front yard, the actual house, like the backyard, that kind of thing, anywhere on the street. But I'm right at about 305 feet, which is essentially nothing. Every 1,000 feet is 2%. So I'm at like less than a fraction of a percent. However, if I can make it the most accurate I can, might as well turn that on. Same thing if I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start using going forward the course altitudes for all the courses instead of you can set it to like global, whatever like your base altitude is. A crackle on your mic sounds like the clipping the input. We having audio issues again? A crackle on your mic sounds like the clipping. Oh yeah. Huh. Clipping the input. We having audio issues again? So you probably just heard that echo. So I'm not even using. Last time I thought it was the dongle. Let me try unplugging it and plugging it back in, maybe. And test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. No, it's still doing it. The heck's up with that? Why is it always Toast? Why is it always you that comes in here and I have audio issues? Try. So this thing has like a dual mic. I can try the other mic, maybe. Way to ruin a stream before it even starts. You may hear the echo in the background because I'm trying to hear the audio. Sorry about all the crackling. Is this any better? That seems better, I think. I was an auto technician for most of my life. I feel like I haven't had no noticeable issues to where anyone said anything, but it's funny, the last time you were definitely right about the dongle gave out, and then that time it must have been that mic, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, it didn't charge. I feel like I haven't had no noticeable issues to where anyone said anything, but it's funny, the last time you were definitely right about the dongle gave out, and then that time it must have been that. That seems a little bit better. I don't know, maybe the mics are on the way out, but appreciate it. I would have gone, if you didn't let me know last time and you didn't let me know this time. I would have gone, however, hour or two, however long I'm gonna hit balls here, that entire time with less than ideal audio. All right, starting to feel a little bit more warmed up. These are just my choke down approach wedge shots. And I guess might as well put in the altitude. I was just talking about that before the audio issues. This is just my choke down approach wedge shot. I usually play to about a hundo. So that was 98.6. And then we'll start the, oh, that was right. Start the swing work. Let's hit a little bit better. A little bit of a overdraw, but I'll take that. I think, was that you, Toast Perry, that said, I think you were, I forget whose stream you were in, maybe Ben's. You were saying that I say but a lot, and I never even realized it until you said that, and I do say that a lot. I notice I like say that at the end of a sentence, just as like a anyways type of placeholder. I don't know why I do that, but all right, we're going up to 305, which again is essentially nothing, but that is my actual real life altitude elevation. So kind of curious. We'll see. So those last couple, I know I'm on the phone. I try to switch back and forth sometimes. But that last one, obviously the setting it at 0, the raw carry and the carry game were identical, both at 94.3. Let's see now with 305 feet of elevation, if we get like a half a yard more. That was thin, but 86.3 versus 86.6. So I got 0.3 yards more. I'm a psycho, so I wrote down the other night when I was just out here, 2 nights ago, I guess it was. I didn't even bring the square out. I just played music on the projector. It was kind of just hitting balls and trying to like feel some different stuff. Didn't really come out with any kind of intention of like working on my swing. More so just like kind of felt the urge to hit balls off camera for like the first time in a while. But I did when I kind of stumbled across some of those new feels. I did write down like pretty detailed in my notes. I'm a psycho and I don't want to forget kind of what I was feeling when I felt like I was hitting it really well. One of those being a little bit more bent over, easier for me on shorter clubs, but feeling of having kind of my arms dangle and hang down a little bit more and being a little bit more with my chest over the ball, toe up at address. Goffy says right all the time. He does say right all the time. He starts everything with right. That was a bad accent, but yeah, he does say right a lot. I mean, it's funny. It's just like the way you talk until someone points it out. You just think it's like normal, and you talk normal. But yeah, I do say but a lot. I was in it's so funny. I was in Ben's stream last night, and he was kind enough to do a side-by-side test with the square versus the Pro T. We can talk about that a little bit. But he dropped a reference of Kill Tony, if you guys are familiar with that show. And he said at one point, I ain't never going to stop. And I was just thinking, I ain't never going to stop saying but. So you guys are just going to have to, I guess, come along with the butt ride. Still a little crackle, but workable. You live? Good. Check out your stream yet? They have not. Where were you last night, Black Cloud? I went live and did a special live stream last night. I was gonna take yesterday completely off, but that whole good situation, I came on and was trying to do my part and get into that collab to work, and that was, however you want to look at it, partially, possibly, either Black Cloud's fault and or gets credit for summoning good into the chat. Kill Tony's brutal. Yeah, I know. It was just funny to hear Ben last night drop the William Montgomery quote. But no, they have not come into my stream. Phil said he thinks they subscribe to him, but he's got to check. Yeah, I don't know, Toast, what the audio. It's the same mics I've always been using. I have it. So I'm just streaming on my phone. Like I said, I try to switch back and forth between like the vertical and the landscape and whatnot. And I have the adapter in the phone, and I have it plugged in, so it's charging the phone at the same time. Possibly it could be causing that, maybe a little bit of kind of crackle interference or whatnot. Possibly because it's charging at the same time. I'm not really sure. I'm no audio technician. Oh, you got called up to play in a golf sim league? Oh, we needed a sub, so I went to play. Real life handicap is 20-ish. I shot a raw 79 at Pebble Beach. The team was... That's funny. That's a good round, though. Hey, what's up, Bill? Yeah, crazy yesterday, huh? We'll see if they pop in again. Good, that is, to McGolfin TV. All right, we'll start with... Lately, I've been hitting that approach wedge really good. So I don't know if I necessarily need to work on that club, but let's start with the pitching wedge, and we'll do the old pause drill, trying to get my hands, the feeling of at the top, give myself that half a second, feel like my hands get down to about waist level or so, and then from waist level to like knee level, feel like I just step on the gas and swing harder. But that'll come after, once I start hitting more regular shots after this swing work. My response was simple. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. You know, what's that saying? Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. And I figured too, this is a good time to do the vertical stream because I'm not even necessarily concerned when I'm doing these pause drill. I just want to see how it feels and how I'm hitting them. I'm not necessarily concerned of how far they're going. So for you guys to be able to see all the metrics in detail, it's probably not the most important. It's just more so about working on this feeling right here. Goes to show all the sim practice in the garage is finally paying off. But the true test with me to come to real life is a go. Yeah, I mean, there's no way around it. If you just keep swinging and you keep hitting balls and you keep playing, it's impossible to get worse. Yeah, you'll have slumps. There'll be times where you're not hitting it as good and whatnot. But if you just stay at it, I mean, it's like anything else. I've said that before, whether it's underwater basket weaving or woodworking like Bill does or whatever else. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. Unfortunately, it's just not an overnight type of thing. That was hit a little bit more solid, but it was a little bit pulled. Believe it or not, it's actually warmer out today. I don't even have the heater going. I brought the lighter out, but I was throwing the ball before I went live with my dog outside, so I was kind of moving around, and I'm still actually kind of warm. It's about 45 or so degrees outside. The thermometer in here says it's only 37, but compared to like 15 or 20, it makes a pretty big difference. Might as well save the propane when I feel like I actually need it. Did you guys... So Bill said he was lurking. Did you see... I didn't see Black Cloud in there. I was there for the entire stream, I think. Triple Bogey Golf Ben last night was kind enough. I asked him to do a side-by-side test as he was hitting balls and playing with the square versus the pro tee. And from what I could tell, I would say probably, I don't know, about a third of the shots had interference to where like the numbers were pretty far off, which was noticeable interference. But I will say on the ones that I could tell, when everything starts to match up pretty good, the square was really good without even him having a perfect alignment with not even his pro tee, but he aligned the square a couple times, but that thing is so temperamental to be able to get things to match up. The ones that I felt like were a good read from both units. They were pretty close. The odd thing that I did see, and I saw it consistently throughout the night, is the launch angle, the VLA, was consistently right around almost exactly 3 degrees higher every single time on the Pro T. So I said to him, which honestly, Black Cloud's probably going to think I sound crazy, and I told him it kind of sounds crazy, but I wonder if the Pro T was a little bit off on just the VLA, because from all the testing that I've seen, the square is right on the money with other units. So he said, I don't know what the process is. I've never looked into the Pro T, but he didn't alignment, and he thought maybe he didn't have it quite tweaked just as right. It was an unofficial kind of test. He said that a bunch, but basically the comparison, it looked good on the ones that it did pick up on. He was using the TP5 Pix balls the entire time. But curious if you guys have any kind of other conclusions. That it's one of those things where we were talking about it, he said it. You kind of just put it up. He did what he could, have the two units running at the same time. Unofficial, you can't really have too many constants going to where it's like a definitive test, but it's one of those things where he just does it and then you kind of draw your own conclusions from it. But I'm curious if you guys have any thoughts on those. Shoot a Raw 79 at Pebble Beach 6,500 is something great. Yeah, I mean, that's a great score. I don't know, I seem to be getting worse. Nah, just briefly. Refitting to play more hybrids and woods and irons. No, a ton of, let me switch to the hybrids. What was the verdict with the comparison? What program is this? This is GS Pro, Mr. Chico Stick. Yeah, GS Pro and Square Launch Monitor. I mean, Boogeyman Bill is using, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, you're still using the clubs that your dad built back in the day, right? So Bill's not out there chasing the latest and greatest tech by any means. I don't necessarily disagree what Black Cloud said. If you're trying to possibly hit some longer clubs a little bit further and with a little bit more solid contact, but that also doesn't stop, like that wouldn't prevent Bill from hitting the clubs that he has right now really good. You know what I mean? Doesn't bother me. I'm still getting the Pro T. No, I was just, no, not thoughts on comparing units, but your thoughts on if you happen to watch the live stream. Obviously, I'm concerned about the Square because I have that, and you would be more concerned about the Pro T, which he was. I mean, I guess you wouldn't. The whole point of that is the Pro T is a much more premium, higher end, more expensive unit. So you're comparing the Square to that, making the Pro T the standard. So you wouldn't get much if you're interested in the Pro T of seeing what the Square did. But I was curious about the conclusions that you draw or you drew if you watch that with the numbers side by side, not like the overall premise of comparing units. Dead set on it once I moved down south. Can't find the center of the club face. May have to change the club to 25 plus years old. Maybe slow down and take back downswing. Usually helps me get better contact. Do a fitting. Yeah, but he's playing. It's not just like he's playing some old junky 25 clubs just, or 25-year-old clubs just for the fun of it. He's using them because his dad built them, which is cool. But the point is, and kind of what I get at when people get real nitty gritty with the clubs and they say, "Oh well, I don't know anyone that goes out there and buys the brand new driver every single year." But people that think like it's their clubs that are holding them back, there's probably some truth to that, especially Bills with 25 years old. But the point being, C-drum or a scratch golfer or a professional golfer or a semi-pro golfer could use those clubs and play just fine with them. So unfortunately, it's more so the cowboy, not the horse, so to speak. What kind of pin light? I have it pinned in my other videos. Any of the other videos, like the one I posted today, Mr. Chico Stick, the Whosville video, it's in the pinned comment to the exact one that I got. I don't remember. I get all this stuff on Amazon. They all have like crazy names, so I don't remember exactly what it's called. But you can look at the exact one if you want. It's on there. Using the R10 with the square, so I know it's me. They both agree. What launch monitor do you have? I just built my sim in the backyard. So I have two right now. I'm using the Square Golf launch monitor. It's indoor use only, but awesome new unit. And all my other videos that you've seen from outside in the backyard, that was using the Garmin Approach R10. It always surprises me when I do this drill of how good you can actually hit it from basically starting to swing your club from right about here. Like distance wise, it's still cold. I'm bundled up, all that stuff, kind of fatigued and sore from yesterday, all that. But 119 for a pitching wedge that I usually play towards 130, 135 on essentially like a half swing. That was Healy. As soon as I say that. When I think the clubs are the problem, I like to be too old to care. That's funny. Tons of truth to it. When I started hitting the Ping Zing 2s, they're a decade old, got fitted, went to Mizuno's, gained 20, 30 yards of distance. Yeah, I mean, there's no arguing they do have more tech, especially game improvement irons. But the main thing with that Black Cloud is just because they're loft jacked. Like you would hit. It's because they're basically making a 5 iron and they're stamping an 8 iron number on it. So like if you take Bills clubs for example, if you hit Bills clubs, your old clubs, you compare the lofts like I told you to the other day with yours versus mine. You compare the lofts. His 5 iron is probably like your 7 or 8 iron. So if you hit his 5, it'll probably go the same distance. And even C-Drum was saying it. I forgot what we were talking about the other day. I think that was one of the putting streams. But even he said you get down into like players type of irons, especially like MBs and muscle backs and cavity backs for sure. But even something like mine with the 770s, there's still tech in here, not the lower clubs. I get the speed pocket starting at the 7. But at a certain point, if you're using more of like a player's iron, players, if I can talk, player's iron, player's iron, you're essentially just swinging a hunk of metal. There's not a ton they can put into them as opposed to the game improvement type of clubs. Nike Vapor, man, I cannot read and talk today. Nike Vaporfly Pros. Found a few months ago. Usually always Mizuno's. These feel and play great. Whatever works for me. Don't care when they were made. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the good thing with irons is they do kind of last forever, so to speak. They're kind of indestructible for the most part. So unfortunately, they're expensive to buy them in the first place, but they do last a long time and they hold their value for the most part pretty well. But I mean, there's some really good golfers. If you're as good as like C-Drum, Joe Legowski, those kind of guys, if you're buying cavity backs and I consider blades like MBs. Cavity backs are pretty close too. But essentially, if you're buying like a blade type of club, you're not going to see a big difference between clubs 10 years ago to clubs now. At least in my opinion. Mr. Chico Stick, the one that I just posted today, Whoville. If you just click on videos and you sort it by like the most recent, or you click any of them, just any of the videos, if you go down to the comment section, I have a pinned comment with the exact Amazon link to this pin spotlight. The thing with loft jacking is players like me who aren't good enough to play irons like you and C-Drum have, y'all are better than me. Well, don't put me in the same class as him. I get what you're saying. It's just my point was there's no arguing the fact that you can the newer game improvement type clubs now that they can put all the different tech into to make them launch higher, land softer, go further. There's no arguing that, but that's why I was saying depending on where you are, the different type of clubs. Everyone you named are legit pro golfers. I know, I get it, but you don't have to be a pro golfer to use those. Like people that are just like low single digit handicaps or scratch, they're beyond that. But those people that are 5-10 strokes even better than me could easily use cavity backs or MBs. I mean, if I really wanted to, it wouldn't suit me. If I really wanted to, I could. It's not like I couldn't hit them at all. It's just you're losing forgiveness and you're losing distance. Just turned 59, still getting more head covers in the back. That's funny. Hey, no shame in anyone's game. If you got to hit hybrids and you hit them better, more power to you. Just comes down to control, both dispersion-wise, left and right, and distance control. So if you're more accurate, more consistent with hybrids, then do it. Scratching out, never use blades. Why stress yourself in a game that's already hard? I agree. I won't either, but you get the point I was making. There's some pros on tour that use cavity backs even. Well, most of them, that's what one thing I always tell you guys, like I have a combo set of P770s and P790s. And when I got these, I was like, huh, like I knew combo sets were a thing, but this is the first time that like I looked into them. And believe it or not, like probably 75%, I forget, I looked it up, like call it close to 75% of the pros on tour actually use a combo set. So they go cavity backs, similar to probably what I do. They probably go cavity backs, which just have a little bit of help in them. They go probably cavity backs like 3, 4, 5, 6 iron, and then 7 iron through their wedges are MBs or blades, just so more control, all that type of stuff. But personally, I feel like unless you're good enough to be able to shape shots left and right into like a tucked pin location, meaning you're hitting like a baby fade into a tucked pin location or like a baby draw, I don't think the blades or even cavity backs would probably suit you in terms of what you're giving away for distance and forgiveness. You could easily hit these clubs though, Black Cloud. Like these are still the 770s. They're a little bit smaller than the 790s, but these are still considered players' distance irons. Like you can. That's why the P790s are as popular as they are. For a while, I don't know if they still are. For a while, they were literally the most popular iron set on the market because someone that's like a scratch could play them, but someone that's also like a 15 handicap could play them. I will say, I'm starting to really, really like that feeling of, for a lack of better terms, gripping and ripping it and really stepping on the gas at the bottom. It does seem, though, at least for me, it tends to exaggerate my release, which has kind of been an issue. I felt like maybe it has been, maybe it's just in my head, but me for a few years, seeing the ball slice off the planet to the right consistently, I always felt like I didn't release the club as much as I should. But for whatever reason, when I start stepping on the gas down here to accelerate the club head through, which makes sense, it seems like it's promoting a more sizable draw. So I may have to start either messing with my grip a little bit or trying to feel like I'm holding off the face, possibly. I really want to try Strixon irons after the season. I'm going to get new irons. Neighbor has all the irons, cavity backs to blades. I try hitting the players' irons you speak of. I couldn't hit them. Well, so yeah, I mean, I mostly know about TaylorMade clubs because I'm a TaylorMade fanboy. But in terms of like the lineup, they go like super game improvement, meaning like for the Sim 2 line, for example, it goes Sim 2 Max OS, Sim 2 Max, which were my old clubs that I gave to my dad. So Sim 2 Max OS, Sim 2 Max, P790 Ti, which is a little bit more forgiving, then P790, then P770, and then P7MC, which is like cavity back, and then P7MB, which are muscle back blades, and then it goes P7 TW, which are like literally Tiger's irons that are butter knives. So that's in terms of where those go, and then all different companies kind of call their line of clubs a little bit different. So maybe Callaway, their players distant iron, maybe something a little bit different compared to TaylorMade, but I just compare everything to the TaylorMade lineup. And who knows? I could be wrong. I'm not wrong on the lineup, but I could be wrong in terms of what I'm calling the clubs. All right, let's get one with the pause drill up to about 125, and then we'll go to the 9-iron. Should do it on the rollout. 121 carry. Like, again, I don't hate that at all. This is a pitching wedge. That went 126 total, 121 in the air. Usually summertime when it's 40 degrees warmer, 50 degrees warmer, and I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, I play it to about 130, 135. So for a swing like that to be 4 yards off of kind of the lower end, occasionally if I really smash one and it's like really hot and humid, like 140, but I don't hate that. All right, let's try some 9s. Again, if anyone's in here, you want to see me play courses and whatnot, I do a ton of that, but today's just more of a swing work type of stream, a little bit more laid back. But I do read and respond to every single comment, so if you want to say something funny, nice, mean, sarcastic in the chat, I will read it. Unless you put something crazy, and then Black Cloud and Boogeyman Bill will time you out. The harder I swing, the better I hit it. Thoughts on one lengths? Yeah, Toast, I agree with that too. I forget who it was. There's been a couple people that come in and they keep telling me they want to see me swing it easier, but I've always said that too. I feel like I let my kind of somewhat natural, I guess is debatable. I'm no super athlete, but kind of let my athleticism take over. So to where if I just feel like I'm swinging pretty hard at most stuff, then I don't give myself time to have my brain kind of take over and like steer it, if that makes sense. So I kind of just let my instincts take over. So I agree with that, and that's how I hit it. Not going to work for everyone. Everyone swings it different, but personally, that's how I've always hit it, and I don't know if I'm going to change that anytime soon. One lengths, I've actually never used them. One of those things, again, more power to you if you happen to like them. I probably could. It does seem like, which is not uncommon, I hit my shorter clubs better than my longer clubs, but that goes all the way up until driver. It's just they make them longer so you can hit them further, but you're less consistent with lower loft. Anything slightly offline is going to go a lot further. So I don't know. I've never used them though, so I don't have any kind of definitive thoughts one way or the other. Oh, that's a shank. That's off the Hosel. Square did a good one. Good job reading that one. I ain't never gonna stop hitting Hosel rockets. Nephew just got some one lengths from Cobra. Haven't hit them. Looking at the wedge, the length of an 8-iron puts me off visually. That's a good point. So I have seen that. It seems to be the consensus to where I guess you can probably tweak them. I think some people go 7-iron length all the way through. It just depends. But I'm assuming it would be beneficial and you would feel really good about your longer irons. But like you just said, having a pitching wedge, a 9-iron, or even a wedge, the length of a 7-iron, I don't know if I'd necessarily love that. But it's like anything else. You get used to it, I would assume. Oh, I didn't do the pause draw on that. Well, launch monitor, Square Golf launch monitor, Andrew. It's still relatively new. I don't think in the grand scheme of golf and launch monitors, that many people right now know about it compared to some of the other big names. But it's a really, really awesome, really, really accurate. I always do air quotes, budget launch monitor, meaning like under $1,000. But in terms of launch monitors, that's about as cheap as they get. And that was kind of Healy as well. Let's hit a little more solid. Not great though. Sometimes with this drill, I kind of feel like I lose where the club face is behind me. When I do like a little bit of a kind of pump pause, I kind of lose where, like, in relation to a regular tempo type of swing, where this club is. Chunky. I'm hitting these 9 irons like I was my pitching wedge. What's going on here? Anyone else have any good drills they've done recently? Especially relating to kind of letting the hands drop, pausing at the top. Does people know about the square? In fact, we're asking at the PGA show. I don't disagree. I just don't know in the grand scheme. Like, I'm assuming that Andrew didn't know what it was. He maybe was just asking. Maybe he didn't know what I had. But I still don't know in the grand scheme how well known the square is versus everyone knows TrackMan. Everyone knows GC Quad. Square, I don't know. I feel like sometimes we're a little bit biased just because we're all in on the simulator game. So obviously, like, well, how could you not know about the square? But I just don't know if the average golfer. If you're a simulator user, you would probably know about it. But if you're just an average weekend warrior golfer and you never really even thought about sim golf, besides like every once in a while going to like a indoor sim place, you probably don't know what the square is. That was a little bit better. Still not great though. I'd like to see. Usually I play this 9 to about 150, 155. I'd like to see at least 140, if not 145 total on the ones that I feel like I hit decent. That one was 137. Do a backswing, pause at the top, and then swing. So kind of like this, right? I mean, everyone's body's going to work different. Everyone feels things differently, but that's essentially what I'm trying to do. I know I'm kind of like pumping a little bit when I pause. Yeah, exactly. When I hit it good, I think nothing. I just hit it hard. Exactly. Hope prices don't raise by the time I get mine in a few months. I don't think they. Well, Skybox, the worst case scenario, which obviously isn't ideal, it would go up $100. So I don't know if it's still the case on the U.S. website, but for a while they've been saying that it's going to go up to $8.99 instead of or $7.99 instead of $6.99. And for a while, I don't know if it's still there. For a while on the U.S. website, $7.99 was crossed out and said $6.99, indicating that they are going to raise the price. So I think worst case scenario would be $100 more. Who knows? Maybe there's some discount codes out at that time. Tons of people know. I know, but what I wasn't saying just Andrew. I was using him as an example. I just don't know. I think tons of people in the simulator world know about the square. I don't necessarily, like I said, I don't think the average golfer that doesn't have a simulator and has never really thought about putting one in, I don't think that they know about the square. But I could be wrong on that. Gotta do some shopping. Have a good one. See you, Bill. You seen that? I was telling McGolf and TV they got to do either the random club challenge like I did a couple days ago with the wheel, or a one club challenge. It looks like Lex is going to be using a 6-iron for this entire round coming up. I don't know how long I'll be hitting balls, but try to stop in at least for I may miss the beginning, but the middle and end parts of their stream. I think it's at like 2:30-ish. That was a little bit better. Better contact. All right, let's see if I can hit one. My problem, reason why I'm doing this pause drill is I still, despite trying to do it, I have a hard time of slowing down my backswing and giving my hands time to drop. So even if I'm thinking about trying to do it and like really, really trying to focus on it, sometimes I just get in the habit of from here trying to hit it hard more from the top versus down here. But let's see if I can slow one down and feel like I actually step on one kind of regular type of swing at the bottom. I thinned it. Slow the pump down. That was toey. Slow the pump down to slow the top down. We're trying. We're working on it. It's not something, unfortunately, I can just do like 5 times and be like, all right, I got that down. It's probably going to take a few weeks of like focusing on that. I don't know if it looks like it on camera, if you can tell a difference from how I've been swinging over the past few months to that, but at least for me, it feels like I have a lot more speed, like I've been saying, from like knee to knee, waist to waist. Like I can feel myself swinging harder down here, which I think is what I think that's what you're supposed to feel, but oh no, really? Black cloud coming in here. That's really sad. Really? Is that true? You've been coming in here lately between this one and McGoffin TV. You come in with all the big breaking news. Where do you get inside information or something? No, I did not hear that. That's sad. She was there at almost all the TGLs that he was there. The last one was like he said like, "Hi mom, I'm not gonna suck tonight." How old was she? Do you know? Thin. Yeah, just saw her last week at TGL. I wonder. It must have been. Oh, she was 78. She looked pretty good for 78. I was wondering. I would have thought. I mean, how old's Tiger? I was gonna say if I had to guess, I was gonna say younger than that. So I was wondering if something kind of like more sudden happened, but I guess at that age that could have just been kind of old age, I guess you would say, or natural causes is what they call it. Late 40s. That's sad. That's a downer. Oh, I chunked that so heavy. I hit like 2 inches behind that. Tigers 49. Tigers' dad graves in Manhattan, Kansas City, or Kansas. Remember hearing John Rahm when he was growing up, working on his swing and whatnot. This is what his coach would tell him to do, which is why he has such a short backswing. He'd always tell him to have him try to hit it as hard as he possibly could from like waist height. The way square is now, it blows away the full swing at the bar. Rather go GC Hawk, but it's way out of town. Yeah, it seems like that seems the consensus. I've never used a full swing, so I can't speak definitively, but it doesn't seem like it's the best, to say the least. Gotta get your own sim in your house, save you money and hand over fist. He's looking at it. He said, correct me if I'm wrong, you said, last I heard you secured the funds or whatever you said for the square. A little off balance there. All right, that was a little more solid. We'll see. Maybe I'm just not hitting the 9 great. We'll see if the pitching wedge was good, but that 9 was a little bit short. We'll see if that continues throughout the bag. I got my 8 iron now. So heavy. I'm trying to line up at address with the feeling of standing just a bit closer and having my chest more over the ball. But I feel like that I'm coming down and I'm hitting way behind it because of that. Thin, thin, thin. Thin and Healy. I might need to. I could feel on some of those with the twisting on the follow through. I may need to start gearing down. That last one could feel a little tinge of discomfort in the old knee on that one. Let's tighten this bad boy up. Whew. Believe it or not, I'm warm. There he is. What's up, Dorico? True Black Cloud, best thing I did golf-wise? Yeah, the sim's awesome. I have an R10 X-Putt, gonna upgrade to Square, get a computer for GS Pro, go to the bar with play my golf buddies. Yeah, GS Pro, in my opinion, definitely the way to go. Unfortunately, I don't have any like close friends that have a launch monitor GS Pro, but kind of like what I did, you just find some nice, kind people, some new friends online, and you can play with them like I've been doing. It's pretty fun. Like when I played that live scramble with Mashy, what was that? 2-3 weeks ago maybe? Whenever it was. That was the first time I've ever played online with anyone. It does take it up a notch because I played for about almost a year. Call it 7-8 months maybe. of never playing with anyone, but it definitely does up the experience of playing with someone, especially if you can talk to them and even see them on the other end, playing the same course, whether you're playing a scramble or a match or whatever. It is a lot of fun. Use any Unicore products? I was thinking about getting a ceiling mount for the sim. Have a buddy who hits the wrong side of the ball. Yeah, so unfortunately, I've used a Unicore once. It was the overhead IXO or whatever it was. That was like 2-3 years ago. I mean, they're good. They're a little bit expensive. Obviously, if you've been looking into it, you know. And I think the Unicore software, you have to pay $200 a year subscription to be able to use third-party software. I don't think there's people that are arguing and complaining about the accuracy, because I think they're almost like close to 10 grand, right? The overheads. So definitely a great launch monitor. It's just expensive, but yeah, if you have lefties and righties that play a lot, it has to be either something behind you, which isn't great indoors, or something overhead. You can use the square, but you imagine if like I'm playing around and every single shot you had to move it left and right, you kind of can't do it. Black Cloud's probably gonna say Pro T. He's all in on the Pro T. You get paid by Pro T over there, Black Cloud? It is cheaper though than the Unicore, I believe, and there's no subscription fee, so you could look into that. Need to start some online. I just use auto putt until I get the square. Yeah, online's really fun. Skytrack Plus cost me $2,500 on sale. Pay for itself within weeks of time easily. Time and money, not going to the range anymore. Spend elsewhere. Game changer. Even when I upgrade, I'm going to get the connector and use XPutt for putting. I mean, you can get it now. The Springbok connector that you're talking about, it's free. So like, you don't have to pay anything. You can just download it right now if you wanted to. All right. It's not horrendous. Usually I play this 8 iron to about 160, 165. That was 153. That one was struck a little more solid. Probably get an extra few yards. 155. I think I'm onto something here with my new swing feels. This is promising. I hit a couple. Like I hit one. I played the course last night, Abacoa or whatever it was called, that Phil wanted me to play. I played that, and then I hit a couple on the range, and I hit 1 6-iron up to, I think it was like 193 on the rollout on the range, which I was saying then too. That shot sticks in my head because usually 6-iron summertime play it to like 200, 205. But the fact that after 18 holes yesterday being cold and all that stuff, I was able to get one up to 193. I think by the time springtime comes around, if I keep working on this, I should be able to possibly add maybe a little bit of distance across the bag. And then I shank it like that, but looked into it. If I'm spending thousands and thousands for an overhead, I'm going Pro T solely because there's 0 subscription fees, no clip stickers, no balls. Yeah, it's what, 6,500, right, Black Cloud? 6,500 versus, I don't know, maybe Andrew, you can let us know. What does the overhead Unicore cost? Originally, they only had one, but they may have a couple models now. I would be willing to bet, though, it's probably a few $1,000s more. Last I heard, they were right around 10 grand versus 6,500 for the Pro T. And if you want, Andrew, if you're familiar with some golf YouTubers, Joe Legowski, golf, awesome YouTube channel. He has an overhead Pro T unit, and then Ben over at Triple Bogey Golf, he just got over the past few days just installed it, a Pro T. So if you're curious about what they think of it, their capabilities, them playing with it, you can go check out those channels. I don't know. Do you know of anyone else Black Cloud that has one of those, like kind of like, I don't know, mainstream's maybe not the right idea or right wording, but some like bigger YouTubers that have a pro tee. I'm not getting paid by pro team. If y'all want to waste your hard-earned money for other units, charge you hundreds and thousands of subscription fees, club stickers and balls, then be my guest. Well, hey, that's, you're calling yourself out there with that whole the whole Skytrack subscription, aren't you? I'm just kidding. I get your point though. The Pro T does look awesome for the price, overhead, no subscriptions. If you get a different unit, it's all your fault. I'm just here to educate people and save them money. Toast is on iPad. I was looking at the new unicorn there just once, but definitely look into the Pro T. What's the new one called, Andrew? Was that the one they unveiled at the PGA show? 156 on that one for whatever reason. So I was hitting my pitching wedge decent. I'm hitting this 8-iron decent. Maybe I got to spend some more time with that 9-iron. I was hitting most of those 9-iron shots like my regular pitching wedge distance. 156 though on that shot. That's not too shabby. I don't hate that. A little bit toey on that one. I know smaller streamers that have them, and they love the Pro T. Do you remember any of their names? I'm just curious, because I don't think I'm trying to think. I was trying to tell Andrew some other people. I don't think I know of any other people besides Joe and Ben that have one. It's definitely helpful. Like when I was looking at the R10, I looked at a bunch of different people. You don't want to just take one person's word for a unit. It's nice having multiple people that you can look at that make videos and kind of draw your own conclusions from all their experiences put together. So, I mean, Joe and Ben being two is better than just one. But if you have any others channels that you remember the name of, Andrew could check them out. Lost that to the right. No subscription for the Square. All the others should do it too. Just seems greedy to me. I agree. And I think because the Square did it, granted, like someone like TrackMan and GC Quad, they're not going to change their business model because of someone like Square. This is not even in the same ballpark. However, definitely any launch monitors under 1,000, they're going to have to see what Square's doing and say, all right, we're going to have to adjust. Kind of what the MLM2 Pro Rapsodo, they did that as well. They never had the lifetime option until Square came out with nothing. And I'm sure it took a big chunk out of their sales. So they kind of adapted and changed their way of business because of that. And then I would think even the units up towards like $2,000 to $5,000, you would think have to see kind of the ripples that Square is making right now and say, all right, maybe we lower our subscription or we get rid of it and try to sell more units. At least if I was them, that's what I would do. Because there's certainly no argument. Subscriptions suck just to be able to use the unit that you paid a lot of money for in the first place. And the fact that Square, when I bought it, it was still kind of up in the air. There wasn't anything definitive of like, all right, they have the credits. They don't have a subscription right now, but the connection to GS Pro is still beta. Maybe they're going to add one. Maybe they won't. So when I bought it, it was still kind of up in the air. But now they've seen pretty cemented on the fact that they do not have a subscription and will never have a subscription, which was a pretty big selling point for me personally. $11K, really? Oh, Unicore XR, price tag is $69.99. We have the subscription too every year. Yeah, I mean, even just based on that, I don't know that much about the Pro T, and I definitely don't know nearly anything about the Unicore XR. But considering, one, it's $500 more in the first place. But even if you considered and you said, okay, they're the same exact price, if you start factoring in $200 a year, that adds up pretty quick, especially if you're going to use GS Pro, which is $250 a year. You still got to pay for that. So you're looking at $450 a year versus just $250. You can, at that price, you can buy a Square or you can buy some new clubs every like 2 years. what you're going to save yourself with. And if you get something like an overhead unicore like Black Cloud with the Pro T, that's not something that you use for like 2 years and then you upgrade it. That's something that you use for like 5 years plus. Black Cloud, we got to get you an affiliate code for Pro T. I'm only joking about you being sponsored by him, but it has been months on end now. You've been talking very kindly about him, only because you truly believe it. So people like that, I would think, good people to have on your side, pushing the product for you. Maybe we need a we need a Pro T sponsorship and a good sponsorship for Mr. Black Cloud. I'm funny. I was thinking, this sounds kind of crazy, but I was thinking yesterday with what happened in McGoffin TV's live chat, do you think there's any way where it just seemed way too coincidental right at the time when you were talking some trash about Good and you made the funny comment about them taking my idea with the TGL? Do you think there's any way that big YouTubers can like maybe have a different feature that I don't even know about to where like they can see or get like notified if someone's like talking about them, or they have like a kind of a backdoor access to the algorithm? It just seemed like it was way too coincidental that it happened literally right as people in the chat and Lex and Phil started talking about Good. Mike, yep. Interested if you have any drive or distance issues with your Square launch monitor on driver shots. If so, any fixes? I have not. Unfortunately, my knee's messed up, so I haven't hit driver in almost like 2 weeks. And even before that, I've been hitting drive in a driver slump. So, but I don't think so. It doesn't seem like I've hit something I said, oh, that looks 20 yards short. All my distances across the bag are good. What I do is I have my unit raised up just under an inch, so I have a board underneath it. You could try that. And in terms of driver, I would definitely recommend. I had some issues with no reads, so it wasn't like a distance issue, but I was getting no reads, and I was using white tees. Highly recommend buying some like these black rubber tees or those bird tees or whatever, just something like a darker color, because that will contribute to having to be on the tee shot or on the tee and hitting multiple shots in a row to get it to register. As far as distance though, I would recommend definitely do the software or the firmware and the operating system update if you haven't done that. And two, also the fact that now what balls are you using, because they integrated with the TP5 Pix balls, these are like top of the line type of balls. So you're going to get naturally higher ball speed and more distance out of these balls versus the square balls themselves that aren't as premium, or possibly like I have like tailor-made, like cheaper tailor-made like distance balls they're called, which are like $30 instead of like 60 for a dozen. So the ball is going to matter, but that's just the square picking up on the more premium ball, which is going to get a little more ball speed, and then raise the unit up. The tees, the color of the tees wouldn't necessarily matter for distance. That would just contribute to the no reads, like I said. Besides that, no, I don't necessarily have anything else besides that, unfortunately. How highly they speak of the Pro T. I've been saying what they've been saying about him before. I mean, in fairness, I don't disagree, Black Cloud, but in fairness, they both got those for free, I think. So it's not like they paid for them. What you said is a child's play when compared with they get on a daily basis. No, I was just wondering the fact that, like I was saying, how it happens like right at that exact same time seemed like a little bit more than coincidental to me. Have to get back to work. Hope your practice session goes well. All right, appreciate you stopping by, Andrew. But yeah, look at the Pro T. Is that the only overhead that doesn't have a subscription? Spend your money wisely. That was thin. Most of these have been pretty straight though. Like I'm not hooking most of them off the planet left or slicing them off the planet right, which is at least promising. Like that one, 0.8 spin axis to the right, 131 side spin. That's like nothing. That was so heavy and left. Still can't get over the fact, much appreciated, yeah. I mean, sorry I can't tell you like, oh, this is like exactly what you need to do. But I used to think it with the longer clubs with the Garmin. They were short and I had to increase the altitude because of that. However, more than likely with something like the Square, which right now after the updates with the balls and everything, it's really, really good in my opinion. So likely if it's you're probably not going to love to hear this, but likely if all the other clubs or most of the other clubs in your bag are good distance-wise, it's probably just you and your driver, which I've kind of come to the realization that I can hit it good every once in a while, but on average, probably not quite so much. But I don't know. It's tough saying. Who knows? Every unit could be slightly different. It all depends on your setup. You could be getting like possibly some interference with a light or something. I don't know. That's off the Hosel. I blame that one on the launch monitor. That one was on the Square. That had nothing to do with me and my swing. I've been using the three dotted balls. Yeah, so definitely first thing, which is the easiest to do. They're not cheap. They're like $60, but the TaylorMade TP5s, you can either get the regular TP5 like I have, or the TP5X. So the X is just a little bit more firmer. It'll go just a little bit further. But definitely, these are way more premium balls, and they cost $60 a dozen for a reason. Definitely, first thing to try would be a more premium ball. Or if you have like a Pro V1 in your bag, try using that and see what you get ball speed wise and distance wise. It's just tough. It's like a question like that. It's just tough for me. I kind of go through my head of what could possibly be causing that. It's just tough without like seeing what you're using and what you're doing in your setup exactly to possibly what it would cause. So I'm kind of guessing of what it may be. Definitely though, the balls are easy enough. Good place to start. All right, let's try some sevens. We hit a few of those eights pretty good. That's not terrible right there either. 158 on the rollout. Here's where we get into the speed pocket as far as my 770s go. So if you guys aren't familiar, a little show and tell here. Approach wedge through 8-iron are just kind of, there's still some tech in there, but they're just kind of more solid hunks of metal. No speed pocket there. And then once I get to the 7-iron, I have that they call it a speed pocket in the irons. So they on the lower strikes, the thinner strikes, they help boost up the ball speed a bit more, which I can feel. If you guys ever used like any of the TaylorMade irons with those speed pockets, you can feel when you really hit one good. That was Healy. That was bad. So for reference with this club, usually try to play this to about 180, 185 total primetime golf season. Occasionally I mash one and I get it up to low 190s. But for shots like this, I'd probably be pretty happy with somewhere in the neighborhood of about 170, 175 on the rollout. Also Healy. I do really like this drill. This is one of my favorites. The other one I like too. I'm not going to do it, but once my knee starts getting better, the step drill to where you start it kind of back in your stance. You step back, take it back, and then you step forward and kind of step into it. That's really good for timing and tempo. And it feels like you're kind of getting some almost a Happy Gilmore into the ball. And it feels like when you connect on one, you can really, really hit it pretty good. Very heavy. I'm gonna grab a Diet Coke real quick. You guys got anything fun going on this week? Anything fun going on today? What did Bill say he was doing? He was gonna go shopping. I gotta do some of that tomorrow, I think. Really wish I could play music. It'd be nice if YouTube changed that to where, like, I get you can't post videos, like you can't post music videos of other people that you don't own, and you can't just do like a live stream, like a radio station of playing music. But for something like this, if I just had like music on very, very low to where you guys could just barely hear it in the background, and I'm still like talking and doing my thing over it. Personally, I feel like that should be allowed. You're so you're so consistent with bad shots. Tell me about it, Colin. Winter storm advisory here tomorrow, so I'll be in the sim. That sucks. I had some wet snow yesterday. We still haven't had anything really substantial in terms of snowfall yet. At the most, we've had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches, which I said that was like 2 weeks ago maybe. 3 or 4 inches, not that much, but that means there's some spots with like 1 or 2 inches, and there's other spots with like 5 or 6, depending on how it blows around. But usually we're good for a few storms that are like 8 inches plus every year. Some more than others. And Colin Hardman, you're not wrong, which is the whole reason why I'm doing this swing drill. That was a bad one for you. Pretty straight though. Just didn't go very far. Realistically, if I hit that, obviously you wouldn't be happy with that on course, but the fact that it literally had 45 RPMs of side spin, that's literally dead straight on the center line. Yeah, I didn't hit it good, but if you hit that on course, that's one of those that you would consider a good miss if it just goes dead straight. Oh, how's the rocket? This drill is tougher with longer clubs. Feels like even more so. I get the club kind of lost behind me. Two in a row. I've been doing this drill. I hook it sometimes. So I was saying earlier, you wouldn't be able to tell on those last two, but it seems like the whole point of this is I'm working on trying to get the feeling of giving myself a half a second at the top, letting my hands drop, and then stepping on the gas between like hip height and knee height, kind of down here. And I found, I've only been doing it a couple days, but I found when I hit it well, it encourages more of a release, which makes sense because you're accelerating the club head through at the bottom. But I've also been, I don't know if you're saying you've been doing this and then experiencing a hook because of it, or you're battling a hook so you're doing this. But I've been seeing kind of an overdraw on some of these. Not when you hit it off the heel, though. Making you feel better now? Crazy, I can hit my woods way longer than my driver. I think raising the launch monitor onto the board might be it. Could be. I mean, you look at the couple of videos that Joe Legowski did with the square versus the GC3, and the square was spot on, like 95% of the shots with ball speed. And if anything, there was a few shots that it was a little bit higher than the GC3 on ball speed. And then same thing, Ben over at Triple Bogey Golf tested it last night on a live stream. Same thing with the square. There was about probably a third of the shots where there was really bad interference, so the square just had like a crazy wonky read. But the ones that it was like a good read, both units registered the shot. The square was right there on ball speed, everything through the bag. And if anything, there was a few that it was higher. All right, I want to see one. Still don't feel like I've hit any of these sevens well. I want to see one up towards 170 territory. I have also, funny you say that, I've also been hitting my woods and like my hybrids further than my driver as of late. That's because I was hitting my driver so bad. It's closer, but I think I got to see probably closer to that total number for the carry. I probably going to be around 165 or so carry in order to hit that 170. What's with the reload swing? I was working on letting my hands drop, kind of getting the club more into the slot on the way down, and just feeling like I'm stepping on the gas lower, like knee height, waist height type of thing. It's closer. 159 carry. 166. Still though, that was a bit thin and a bit heely. That was struck a little bit better. 161, still not going to quite get there, I don't think, but it's closer. 168.9. It does feel really good though when you get it to time up, and you probably need some new lingo, but like I was saying, you step on the gas at the bottom. I was saying I wanted like 170, so we'll move on to the 6. I try to do it normal without the drill for 5 shots. What do you mean, just a regular swing, just feeling like it's slower at the top? Healy, Healy, Healy. That's a little more like it. It's a little bit pulley. 185 carry from the square. 186 rolling out to 195. I do not dislike that for a 6. Like I said, summertime, usually play this to about 200, 205. It's weird how some of these clubs, like that one, I'm very happy with that. 195.4 total. I'm very happy with that. It just seems like from club to club, some are good. It's like every other club. Some are good and some aren't. Look at that, though. 0.1 into out for the club path. Negative 1.7 spin access. Negative 126 RPMs of left side spin, which is pretty much dead straight. It's kind of a pull draw because it started 1.5 degrees left, but I like that. All right, let's do some pause. Pause king. That was almost off the hosel. That was about as close as you can get without actually hitting it. The other thing too, kind of less intentionally, but kind of in the back of my mind, is with the slower backswing of trying to generate some more width back here, give myself some more room to come down and kind of speed up. That's kind of secondary. This guy swings like a mini Rory. I wish. I mean, truly, like miniature Rory. But yeah. I'll take that as a compliment from you, C-Drum. Probably wasn't meant that way, but I'll take that as a compliment. I'll take mini Rory. Rory's kid. Rory's nephew. You missed the last one. I just hit a 6-iron pretty good. Got it up to 195. And then you saw that one almost off the hosel. What do you think, C-Drum? Am I dropping this into the slot or what? Healy again. C-Drum is the resident professional golf instructor here on the channel. He does accept lessons if you guys want to pay him. Maybe the early extension is tough on you. So what? What's the easiest way to fix that? Feel like I'm staying with my chest more over the ball? Stay down and through it to cover it? Yeah, you do. You do what I say you do. Just feels like when I do that though, I need to line up. It probably looks like, for me to feel like that, it feels like I need to get so hunched over the ball to stay down and through it. Maybe I'm just not flexible enough. left cheek is moving backwards through impact. I have seen some of those videos, so that feeling of like the left hip kind of working away like that. And I guess that's kind of, I was working on that previously too, maybe a week or two ago. My feeling, the way my brain works is the way I feel that, not necessarily with the hip, but if I had like a limbo bar here, when I'm coming down and hitting it, feeling like my right shoulder and kind of like my right ear kind of stays below this, I would assume that's kind of a similar. All right, let's try it. Let's see if this guy knows what he's talking about. Eh. Hip goes towards the ball, makes you swipe it. Left toe pushes back, putting weight on the left heel. I agree my hips probably go towards the ball because that's why I'm working on letting my hands drop. I think I get so excited to hit it hard, I'm kind of coming this way versus staying back like you're saying, I guess, and letting the club really drop. Left toe pushes back, putting weight on the left heel. We'll see. Are you one of those P1, P2, P7 type of guys? I feel like my brain doesn't do good with that. If I started focusing on all that crap, I would be like, oh, P6.5 was off there. And I would just drive myself crazy, I think. Best drills I found is either a chair behind you, and you keep pressure against it the whole time, or butt on the wall. Improv guy, figured you knew that by now. Well, I don't know. Former, I guess debatable, D1, D10 college golfer. I would assume you took a boatload of lessons throughout your playing career. Versus me, that's literally never had one. We can consider this maybe my first one. So that one I tried to feel like I pushed my left hip and toe back, but that one felt like it made me stand up even more. So bad. All right, back to the pause drill. I gotta get myself back here. I'm just daydreaming about that 195 one now. Club face was a bit open. So heavy. Nice 141 yard carry 6-iron. Believe it or not, I may need to take this flannel off. I don't know if this one's thicker than the other one. No, I'm kind of warm. I've had like a light sweat going. Your second pump there, you're throwing over the top still. Feel like you push your hands backwards as you start to uncoil the body. My little pump, double pump, doing me dirty, is what you're saying? That just feels like I have to rip it. If I don't do my extra pump, that feels like I have to rip it so far from the inside, kind of behind me. I get what you're saying, though. I think with the loop, maybe, you kind of have the feeling of you go to the top, and instead of over the top, you kind of have that loop kind of backwards, like Speed Golf Rob says, the no, 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 no. The skip the rock guy. I'm back. The devil has returned. Just in time for Mr. Professional over here give me some swing tips. Ugh. Nope. Just so low and healy on all these. Yes, Marucci. So I didn't know. I guess that whole Marucci thing, I guess that was a guy's, it was a golf announcer. That was his name. That's where he got that from. I thought he just made that up. That was hit a little more solid. That was a Marucci 6-iron there, a little bit better. Still doesn't get up to my 195 that I had before. That was the first one out of like 20 swings that actually felt better. Heel because you're extending hips towards the ball. Fall away from it. I'm not disagreeing with you. To me, it's just when I've felt that before, and it feels like when I'm falling away, it promotes me swiping across it, or the feeling of swiping across it more. Falling away. Well, I quite literally fell away on that. It wasn't hit horrendous, but you try to be 0-0 C-drum on your club path, or you still try to pick a direction? Like that was 0.4. I would assume me with that feeling of falling back would encourage probably a more neutral club path. Finish out to the right of the ball? No. I think we're getting some things lost in translation here. So that's my feeling of, I know you said finish right, but that's my feeling of falling away. And now that time it went 0.9 out to in, and I literally am like falling backwards as I'm hitting that. Probably turns out I'm just, go figure, not quite as flexible as like a semi-pro, pro scratch golfer type. You like 6 into out when you're hitting a little draw? Isn't that kind of a lot? I thought the rule of thumb was like 3 degrees either way. Catch you in the other stream. Gonna watch Lex play. Probably won't stay long. I have things to do myself. Sounds good, Black Cloud. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see if we can get you that Pro T sponsorship. That was a good one. We need to shut the club face and draw it back off the push line. Okay. Well, at least I did something kind of right. I mean, that was a pull draw. I felt like I hit it pretty good, though. 189. But that started 2.7 degrees left versus you were saying pushing it out to the right and then drawing it back. So that was just a pull draw instead of a push draw. I feel like when I'm feel like on the ones that I hit well, I'm like I said, 0, somewhere between 0 and 3 degrees in to out. That one was 1.5. Pro T for life, despite all the naysayers. Unicore XR over Pro T. We were just talking about that, C-Drum. Some guy, what was his name? Andrew was in here, and he was asking. He was looking into the new Unicore, which is that Unicore XR. But $200, isn't it, every year for subscription for Unicore? And he said it was $69.99, so $7,000. You save $500 with the Pro T and no subscription. These are fighting words for Black Cloud. He is all in. He doesn't even have one, but he is all in on the Pro T. So that was 0.3 HLA. So that was a pull fade. However, 0.1 out to in on that on the club path. I just hate having sliced the ball for a few years when I first started playing. I hate seeing a ball like that with a spin axis to the right. That wasn't even that bad. That went 188, but it just, to me, I hate seeing the ball go that way if I can help it. I know, since it triggers him, we're gonna show him love. How kind of you, catch you later. Fades aren't the end of the world. I know, it's just I'm kind of a I was gonna say something bad, but distance oriented type of golfer, to where I feel like I'm always trying to hit it faster, hit it harder, hit it further, and fades don't go quite as far. More control. So last summer I spent all winter teaching myself how to hit a draw for the first time, and then I was overdoing it way too much. So last summer, the entire year playing, I said, all right, I'm gonna go back to committing to playing a fade. And I mean, I had the best scores that I've had in my golfing career doing that. It just feels like I lose some pop and some distance playing the fade. Those last few, though, were pretty decent contact. I don't hate the way those felt. Up towards 185, 190. Usually summertime, I play this to about 200, 205 sometimes. I mean, the ball missed, what, 4 feet right of the target? Does it show you the angle of attack? Yeah, it's my 6-iron. Yeah, angle of attack. Yeah, it's the bottom. I know you're on the projector. It doesn't, you can't see it great, but it's the one right down here. So that last one, that went 187 total. That one was 1.7 degrees down. So the square, it's measuring, instead of estimating, it's measuring the angle of attack and the club path, and then it's estimating the face to target, and it also estimates the dynamic loft, which I don't even have up. But I mean, you can make an argument maybe it's not the most accurate as far as the club path and the angle of attack, but it is measuring that based on the club stickers. I feel like I stood up out of that one, but still, again, I mean, for me, that's right next to the center line. 91 of RPMs to the left. That's about as straight as I can hit it. Didn't go as far as I would like, but for me, something like that, 0.4 into out, 1.5 degrees down, like, if that's going to be a miss on course, obviously that's very manageable. If that's accurate, then that's really shallow for a 6-iron. I know. So when I first, for the first, like, I just didn't know any better. For the first, like, 3 years playing C-Drum, I literally played everything, pitching wedge to driver, literally everything off my left heel. So I think over that time, and between doing that and playing like some crappy courses where you're literally hitting off of like dirt, especially when it gets cold around here, you just can't hit down. If you're hitting off of like hard pan dirt and like a course that's all spotty, you can't hit down and take a divot. So I think between I probably did that just to be able to feel like I'm not digging the ball out and destroying my wrists and elbows. I played everything off of my left heel, so I feel like over time I probably ingrained a pretty shallow. I would consider myself more of a sweeper of the ball versus some people that come down super super steep. So yeah, that tracks. I've been working on though trying to move my ball position back a little bit, especially for like pitching wedge 9-iron, 8-iron. What should it be? I mean, I'll try to, I guess, stay down on this one and hit down on it a little bit more. Maybe I can get it up to like 3 degrees down, maybe. Oh, I dug that out. So that had 0.5 degrees up. I think that's because I hit 2 inches behind it. Lean more onto my left foot. Where should I be playing this 6-iron in terms of ball position and like kind of shoulder tilt? I know obviously shoulder tilt with driver is way more exaggerated, but I feel like even these, maybe that's part of my problem. Maybe have the feeling of maybe my left shoulder. I feel like some of these longer irons, I try to maybe almost, for lack of better terms, kind of help it up in the air, knowing that it has less loft. That could be part of it. 0.9 down. Between front and middle somewhere. Don't try to pick it up like that. You want the ball, then turf. Yeah, I've always not been great at compressing the ball, which is obviously goes kind of hand in hand with not hitting it down enough. .6 degrees down. It was toey. 185 total. Are we getting anywhere, or am I just spinning my wheels here? I know it just doesn't happen after one swing. But am I trending in the right direction or no? 6 irons, my 190 club. So your distance isn't that bad. Yeah, but I'm probably my 6 iron. So I go approach wedge through 7-iron or the 770s, and then 6, 5, and 4 are the 790s. So my 6 iron is probably equivalent to your like 4-iron or 5-iron. It's probably at least a club stronger in loft. And like I said, when I'm playing this, like I don't just like make up, despite what you guys may think, I don't just make up these distances. Like I actually play on course in the summertime, and I play this to when I hit it good, which is what I'm trying to do. I know some people, maybe that's part of my issue. Some people play it to their true average, and they take into account their poorer strikes into what they play their clubs to. But to me, I'm trying to hit the ball as good as I can every time. So I'm playing the clubs to what I know I can hit it at when I hit it good, which is what I'm trying to do. But yeah, it's usually like my 200 club if I'm hitting it really good, like 205 total. I also I'm not good enough, I don't feel like, to be able to carry it and play off of carries. I do it based on total. So like that one rolled out like 9 yards. I play my distances on total. Yeah, it's a missile launcher. I mean, you'd probably be hitting this thing like 230. I don't know. I don't think they changed the for these type of clubs. They don't change the lofts a whole lot, but these I believe I bought the combo set together. I believe the 790s are 2019 and the 770s are 2020s. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm like at least a club and a half, maybe even 2 clubs stronger on loft than you. But yeah, something like the way you hit it and how far you hit it, that's the goal. But likely I'll probably never get there. So that's kind of a benchmark, not necessarily like a something that may be the most attainable in the world. 2.2 down. I didn't catch that one as good. Fell back on it. Healy. But I mean, again, bad miss. I would have been, if I was playing this in the summertime, I would have been 20 yards short. However, I literally landed on the center line with 80 RPMs of right side spin. Does it make sense? I've been saying with this over these past couple days with my swing epiphany, new swing feel unlocked, that when I feel like I've been, I don't know if you were in here before when I was explaining it, but basically what I was feeling that other night was having my chest a little bit more over the ball, kind of having my arms hang down a little bit, the toe a little bit more up, getting a slower backswing and a little bit more width, giving myself that fraction of a second at the top to let my hands drop. And then the main difference, the main feeling is for me just stepping on the gas and basically swinging as hard as I can from like knee to hip level. And when I've been seeing those, it seems like it's promoting more of a release, which would make sense because I'm accelerating the club head through, I would think, more at the bottom and at the right time. And I've been seeing some more wayward shots to the left. I don't know if that adds up or if that's just me not hitting it great. Heavy, toey. .8 down. It's probably too shallow still. Take it to the top, then hit the ground with the club behind your right foot a few times. And then hit it from here? Or no, you're just saying just to get the feel. That makes sense. Over-exaggerate the feeling of the drop. Hard to explain. Yeah, you get the feel. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I appreciate the help. I'm just trying to kind of piece together what I feel like I'm doing, what I could be doing better, what I'm doing wrong, and then what I see on YouTube Shorts as far as swing advice, and kind of trying to piece it all together. It's just weird too. Even you explaining it, it's just strange how some people's brains work differently than others. So like you can literally explain that same either feeling or tip to two different people, and then depending on how their brain works, one person's going to be like, "All right, that makes a ton of sense. I know how to do that," and the other person's like, "Nope, I need you to explain that differently." That's a little more like it. Feel like a little bit more of a drop there. 182 carry, 123 ball speed, rolling out to 191. A little bit toey. 2.8 degrees down. I had it printed out for a while. I had the PGA Tour TrackMan averages, and I was for a time using that as a benchmark. There's one thing I noticed. I went to, speaking of Unicore, I went to a sim spot, the one that I was telling you about with the spreadsheet. I went to a sim place and they had an overhead Unicore, and they sent me the spreadsheet after, and all of my vertical launch angles and my peak heights were like off the charts, like 2 to 3 clubs beyond and higher than what the average like PGA Tour Pro was. But again, that was probably because I was still playing everything way too far forward and almost even hitting up on some of them with irons. but my vertical launch angles and my peak heights were like 2 clubs off. 3.5 into out, nice one. Hammered. Well, that was better. Again, I mean, it's I got like 4 layers on. It's 37 degrees. So in my mind, that same shot, if the garage is 80 degrees and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, with that same swing, I would think that's going 200. Maybe not, but to me, I would just feel like I'd be able to swing it a bit better. I'm getting the itch watching this. Gotta hit my sim soon. Dude, pull it up. Pull it up in the sim and hit some shots. I mean, those are the shots right there. That one felt pretty good. Those are the ones that make you want to keep hitting. But then I'll go into a stretch where I hit 10 off the Hosel, and I say, what am I doing this for? $121. Felt a little bit swipey. Lost my balance. 179. 2.3 degrees into out. 3.4 down. I dug that out. It's chunky. I'm starting to feel like I probably never even experienced, maybe I have just on accident, but I feel like I possibly have never even experienced like a well-compressed iron shot before. I can tell, especially with these speed pockets on these, I can tell like that one previous, I felt like it hit good and it feels like it explodes off the face and it's a lot softer. But I don't know. I feel like I'm missing out on something. I don't know if I've ever truly compressed a ball consistently. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the angle on the tack on this thing is a little off. Up or down or just all over the place. That was 2.4 degrees down. Doesn't the artificial mat though, doesn't that mess with it? So if like you hit it really chunky, it literally like drop kicks the club off the mat. And like I've had that with wedge shots where you hit it fat and it just drop kicks it and it reads as like a positive attack angle. Couldn't that be some of it? So more so the fact that it's artificial mat versus the unit being not a GC3. Little pulley. 189 though. That was 2.4 down, 5.7 into out. Started 0.3 left. Sometimes you see that as an up angle. 2.4 is a gentle sweep. Well, like I said, I mean, I would consider myself, if you were to ask me and we weren't talking about this, like, how do you hit the ball? Are you more of a sweeper or more of a digger? I'm 100% more of a sweeper. So to me, I don't know what it should be on a 6 iron, but to me, that probably makes sense considering how I've always hit the ball. Obviously, it's probably not ideal, and I should work on that, but I don't necessarily would think maybe it's the unit that isn't great. It's hard to get steep enough with irons on the mat. Yeah, steep on a mat, it's hitting concrete, it's tough on your elbows. This actually isn't too bad, but yeah, kind of like what I was saying before. The mat definitely, but also playing on some cheaper, more crappy courses where you're hitting off of like harder pan dirt. You just can't hit down into it. Otherwise, you're going to, same thing with the mat, you're going to destroy your wrists and your elbows. So it encourages you to kind of sweep it cleaner and like pick it clean, which again, that's kind of how I play in general. So 3 degrees down. I tried to really have weight forward on my left on that one. Appreciate all the tips though. I feel like at least half of these 6 irons are decent. I just want to continuously, slowly but surely, as I hit balls nonstop, just slowly but surely kind of improve my way forward and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Carve out, ingrain. This word I'm looking for is escaping me still, but kind of carve out a relatively consistent, better swing, slowly but surely. That one didn't feel the best on the knee. Being steep will give you more spin, better compaction, in my opinion. Hit down with the irons, hit up on the woods. Yeah, I know all that. Like, I know all that common thinking and what you should be doing. It's just how to do that and whether I'm doing it is the issue. How to do it better. That wouldn't have been bad, though. So that started right. Like you were saying, if I just shut down the club face a little bit more and released it, that would have started 1.4 degrees right, 1 degree into out. That would have started a little bit right and drew back if I shut down the face a little bit more. .5 degrees down. That's, though, back to a pull draw, which I don't necessarily hate. And I would also consider myself a lower spin player. I definitely wouldn't consider myself like I'm not a high spin player. I wouldn't say that. So that also tracks. Which hence why I play my clubs to total yardage versus carry. All right, that was a push draw. 0.3 HLA, 3.2 degrees down, 124 ball speed, 194 total, 2.6 degrees into out, 3.2 down. I don't know if I said that. Can you guys see those numbers or not really? What a name. Thanks, Jack. There was definitely some Hosel rockets in here before. Luckily, it hasn't been as many as of late. The 6-iron I've been hitting decent. That was one of the better ones. I think I got it up to, what I say, 195.3 on one of them before. But that one, as of late, 194.5 total. Oh, I did. Big news, C-Drum. I added, I looked up a topography map earlier, and I typed in the exact address of my house, and I added, it's 305 feet of elevation or altitude. So I added that to GS Pro earlier in the stream. So 185.4 raw carry from the square, and I got 186.4 for that 300 feet, which is nothing, but I got a yard extra in the air. I think let's move to the 5. I feel good about that 6-iron. Probably should have gone the other way. So I probably should have warmed up, felt like I hit a couple good, and I probably should have started with 4. Now that I'm tired, I probably should have started with the longer clubs first and worked my way back. Fire? Yeah, I'll take that one all day long. That's for sure. Because again, even like I've been saying, maybe I'm wrong with that, but it leads me to believe that would go at least 5-10 yards longer. Shorts and a t-shirt, 50 degrees warmer type of thing. That's going to end up being about the same, and that was a 5 instead of a 6. Usually, if I'm hitting this well, 210, 215-ish, summertime. So if I see anything probably like 205-ish right now, I'd probably be pretty happy with that. 3.5 degrees down on that one. That was Healy. Anyone got a tip of how I can hit the dead center of the club face every single time? Anyone got a good drill or a good tip for that? Versus being heel toe, heel toe. Quit early extending. I'm trying, dude. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to feel like it feels like I'm like this, lining up with my weight further forward, and I'm trying to feel like I'm exiting kind of still out to the right, but kind of moving back. I don't know. It's tough putting all these different things together. The problem is I have so much wrong with my swing. I need to like pick off one thing at a time. And then by the time I work on that one thing, I say, all right, I got this down. I move on to the next thing, and then something else breaks my swing. Might get to 200. 201.2. 1.8 degrees down. That's probably still pretty shallow. 1.2 into out. 123.6 ball speed. I'll tell you what, like I don't hate that, and I was pretty happy with some of those 6-irons, but the fact that I can do this with some of those ball speeds, and then I go and tee up my stupid driver, and sometimes I get something close to that. Whoa, C-Drum gifted a golf membership. Who got it? Oh, Spike got it. Spike got it. Spike, say thank you to C-Drum. Hit the like if you were jumped hitting these bombs. Need to slow down and let the hip hit the wall first, then rotate left hip back. The weight shift needs to happen before your arms even start moving. That's a lot of information there, Jonathan. We're working on it. Spike's a member. Thanks, C-Drum. All right, let's see if we can get 205. Now we're getting greedy. Toey. I probably need 195. 195 raw carry from the square to get there. My knee is kind of throbbing, to be honest, though. So I don't know how many more of these fuller swings I have. I strapped up this stupid knee brace so tight, I may be cutting off the circulation, which could be some of it. This is promising, though. I felt like I was onto something the other night, and this is kind of confirming it, at least for the time being. Oh. See that one? That one I hit that so heavy. That was 1 degree up. I hit like 2 inches behind that. The club literally skipped up into the ball, shut the face down, went 170, and that was 1 degrees up on the attack angle. What if he can't see the ball because of the beard chat? You saying if I can't see the ball because of my beard? I can see it. I'm probably messing it all up. It probably doesn't look the best because my collar with trying to keep down and through it is probably all messed up, but I can see the ball. Alexander Golf. Change my swing closer to his. That beard is a boss. Beard has a mind of its own sometimes. Similar to hair days. Some days I wake up and I'm having a good beard day. Other days I wake up and I say, wow, this looks terrible. Kind of an in-between one today. Now I'm just swinging harder. That was very off balance. It's not too bad, but now I'm just swinging harder trying to see 205. Or, yeah, 205. I don't think I've seen a stream without a sock hat on. I'm guessing blonde hair with a perm. Could be. You never know. It's too cold to not have a hat on. I will say, C-Drum, you may be surprised. Maybe I'll send you a picture. You may be surprised what my hair looks like. Could be red hair. Who knows? My beard in the summertime gets kind of red. Double tap the screen. Apparently, people like seeing me hit these longer off-balance iron shots. Oh, so heavy. That was way right. Fell out of it. I feel like probably too, because I'm trying to hit it harder. You're probably right about the early extension, humping the ball type of motion, just because I'm trying to hit it harder and step into it. Very counterintuitive when you want to hit your longer clubs further and harder to be able to have the feeling of almost slowing it down and letting the club do the work, at least for me. Thin. Where'd my draw go? Keep the width on the takeaway, trying not to hit so much. Also, the way your lie angle is in your stance, the complete toe of the club is off the ground when you address it. I've been trying to do that, though. The past couple of days, I've been trying to increase that more. I feel like before I was too flat. So I've been trying to have it to where my across the bag, my toes a little bit more up and off the ground. And kind of having the feeling of my hands kind of hanging a bit lower. I feel like we got some conflicting information here going. Thin and Healy. I can feel myself too. I'm not letting the club drop now because I'm trying to hit it hard. So I can feel myself trying to hit it hard, and I'm accelerating up here, trying to get more into it, and that's just not the way to do it. Any hole-in-ones recently? No. Well, he's 4-7 with men's clubs. Yeah, they're too long. They come up so far. No hole-in-ones recently, Dorico. I haven't really done. I've only had. I don't have any in real life, and I had one when I was doing a video on Home Tee Hero in the backyard. That was when I was actually playing a course. The other ones that I've had was just when I've been doing those hole-in-one live streams, which I haven't done in a little bit. So, no, I got. What was the first one I got? I think I got Sawgrass and I got Pebble Beach, and I was working on that 19th hole at Paynes Valley, but I haven't got that one. I do need to download. I have it in my notes. I want to download that DPC Scottsdale course, the waste management course. I don't have that. I never played it. That course looks absolutely awesome. I want to make sure I have that in case it gets pulled down. A little bit better. 193 carry. This could get there. Go! 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 203. 2 yards off. Go figure that one. I tried to slow it down just a little bit more at the top. Where the heck is Spike? Spike got gifted a membership and then just bounced out. Are you in here, Spike? You got a membership now, courtesy of C-Drum. When's the I'm streaming until I get a hole-in-one stream launched? I don't know. Give me a hole to do. Maybe tomorrow. Can you download all the courses on GS Pro? If so, how many terabytes does that take up? You can, in fact, do that, and some people do that and keep it on an external hard drive in case any of them get taken down. Maybe Yeah, C-Drum would know here. Mr. Brainiac over here. 700 megabytes times 1300. Yeah, it's a lot. So you need what? Probably a couple terabytes? I don't know what the math comes out to that on, but I don't know. I honestly, when I first got GS Pro, I started to do it, but literally it'll take you probably take you 2 hours just click and download on every single one. Unfortunately there's no button where you can just do like select all and download, at least that I know of. So you have to literally go through and manually select all 1300 and click download. And then you get into the territory where if someone does an update, then you got to download that, and then you got to update your external. I don't know. Personally, the way that I do it, C-Drum, if you don't know, C-Drum in here is a course designer on GS Pro. But the way I do it is I keep the ones that I really like, I download them, and if they're ones that I find myself going back to, I just leave those on my computer, and then I delete all the other ones. Man, that may be the best that I have. 127.6 ball speed, only 1.4 down. That could have been the issue there. But 203, I wanted to see that 205 number. We were 2 yards off. Nope. Gotta slow down the top. Slow down the top. Do you feel almost a backwards like figure 8 loop or no? Toey. Turkey sandwich withdrawals? Not quite yet. I had a lot of turkey for that period. Not quite yet. I wish they sold those, though. I wish they did it more than once a year to where you can get those turkeys really cheap around Thanksgiving time. Ugh. I'm losing it. Losing speed, losing consistency. Rotator cuff injury? I don't know. I guess. If it's constantly plaguing you and you feel it every single swing. I feel like wrist would be pretty bad. Elbow would suck. Golfer's elbow would probably suck because you're feeling that every single time. I can tell you from personal experience, right knee injury is not great, but probably better than the left knee injury. Also, my right ankle, that sucked. It's still not great. Ankle injuries aren't ideal either. I'm sure I can look forward to all those fun golf-related overuse type of injuries in a few more years. I'm probably just wearing my body out hitting all these shots, especially with poor form, probably doing even more damage. I will say one thing that I have noticed is when I actually let the club fall and I actually like speed up at the bottom, it does feel a lot more effortless, which is the way it probably should feel the entire time. Lost it to the right, but that felt more well struck. 124. What was the other one that I hit? The 203, like 127 or something like that on the ball speed? That one has a chance. Get going. Get going. 204.2. 126.5 ball speed. 2.4 degrees down. 2.2 degrees into out. 193.7 raw. 190. or yeah, 193.7, 194.6 game, which is my 300 feet of local altitude. That rolled out to 204.3, 0.7 yards away. Yeah, another 20 years I'll need replacements. Although building muscle around the joints helps. Still pumping iron, yeah, pretty much every day. That was a nice shot. That was my best. This is my 5-iron. That was my best 5-iron yet. Not quite there though. I wanted to see that 205 number. But I guess we'll call that close. We'll hit some 4s, and then I'll probably go back down to like 9 pitching wedge just for a little bit, and then kind of cool down and call it a day. We'll see what we can do with the 4. The way I'm feeling right now, took me a handful of shots to get up to there again. I don't know about this, but we'll see how far some of these go. Maybe I'll get lucky and connect on one. Picks balls, yeah. TP5 picks. Believe it or not, I've been using these. I've hit so many shots with these balls. I'm using still the first sleeve. So I still have the other sleeves. They're still brand new in the box. These same 3 balls I've been using for like almost 3 weeks, a month. Some of the decals, let me see. These don't even look that bad. So like, for example, that black one right there, you see how it's kind of like a little bit faded, but it's not bad. They're a little bit scuffed up, but literally I probably hit hundreds, if not thousands of each one of these. But highly recommend for more longevity out of the balls. If you just take out 3 at a time like I do and you try to rotate them, you keep hitting the same ball continuously and the ball heats up, getting stopped by the screen, and it cracks a lot quicker from what I've been told. No, it's the same thing. They're very durable. I think it's the only thing that I would think of is the fact that it's 5 layers as opposed to a lot cheaper balls are 2 or 3 layers. I think the 5 layers probably has something to do with it. Pretty happy though. I mean, the fact that 1, the square can read the spin, and 2, they're expensive, but they last a long time, which is awesome. Toe chunk. Probably should temper expectations with my 4-iron. Kind of a tough club to hit in general anyways. Probably feel like that 6-iron I was hitting pretty good. That may have been the best one yet in terms of clubs. Healy. That's off the planet. That would not be a good one on course. Oh, that's way right. Started right, stayed right. I guess compared to the last one, not as bad. But I would like to see a nice little either pull draw or push draw. Baby draw either way. I like seeing that spin axis like 0 to 3 degrees to the left. That was 2.3 to the right. Low. Low in the face and Healy again. This is the one club, to be honest, because I usually don't hit it a ton on course. I don't really even know how far this goes. You would assume if I play my 6-iron to like 200, 205, 5-iron to about 215-ish. So like 220, 225 if I actually hit it good. Maybe. Honestly, I don't even know though. I feel like at least for me, maybe the same for you guys, my yardages kind of get bunched up towards the top of my bag with the longer clubs. Let's hit a little more solid. 130 ball speed. 197 carry, rolling out to 205. That's kind of what I wanted out of that 5-iron I was just hitting. I was hoping for one of those. Pretty dead straight though. Negative 21 RPMs of left side spin. Literally landed like on the line. Question is, what number am I trying to hit here? I guess like 215 total would probably be a good shot right now in terms of distance. Nope. Square is really going to add club head speed though. I'd be curious what some of these are. Kind of off the planet to the right, but 201 carry. I think the rough may slow it down here on the total. 210. 128 ball speed, 0.4. Hit down on at 2.2. Tougher time too. Releasing the club and closing the club down with these longer clubs. I don't hate that though. I mean, granted, it was really far right, but in terms of distance, a little bit straighter there. 130 ball speed, 202.9, 204, 213.9 total. I don't hate that. It's pretty close to what we were looking for. 1.1 yards away from our 215 number. Honestly, I've been live for a while. I'm going to call that one a good one as far as the 4-iron and go back down. We'll hit a couple 8s, a couple 9s, a couple pitching wedges, and kind of slowly start cooling down. Looking fast, my man. On some of these, C-Drum was coaching me up before. That one wasn't bad. I don't know. I've said it a million times, but all the conditions that aren't optimal between the weather, bundled up, my knee, everything. I'll take that though. That's not too bad. I don't hate 130 ball speed out of an iron. That was bad. So I'm hitting. This is my 8. Usually I play it to about 160, 165. If I get it up to about, that wasn't too far off. If I get up to about 155 right here, 5-10 yards short, primetime golf season, I'd probably be pretty happy with. That was 151. That was a pull draw, so it's going to go a little bit further. Also a pull draw, but that's some good distance. 160 total. Been telling you guys, I don't lie about my numbers. No one's really accused me of that, but sometimes you wonder with some other people. I will say that. And it's just tough. I mean, I can say I hit all these numbers, but maybe right now I'm just swinging it a little bit better with my new swing feel. If you see me on any other stream, I'm hitting my 8-iron like 140. You're like, all right, this guy would never hit it 160 with his 8-iron, but except my height numbers. You said high numbers. A little typo there. 4'11" is accurate, where 5'7" isn't. Hey, you don't know. You've never met me in person. Like I've been saying, I could be 6'5". You see those four? You see that last 4-iron I hit? I got it up to, what was it, 213.9? Back down to my 8. Toey. If I had to guess, 159.5 on that one, but it's kind of off the planet left. If I had to guess, I'm probably swinging this 8-iron at about 140 miles an hour club head speed, somewhere around there. That's usually where I am. Distances are never a straight line, always at least a little up and down. Truth. I feel like I kind of reference, though, like I always caveat things when I say, like, all right, usually this would be X club, and I always preface it with by saying, like, if I was hitting it well, and then I proceed to club up by like 2 clubs. But all right, let's get this one started a little bit right of center, right at that 260 number. I'd be happy with. Get it drawing back. Toey. It did start right at center though, but that's not going to be 160. 0.3 HLA. Only 1.8 degrees down on that on an 8-iron. That's not nearly enough, I wouldn't think. 154.8 total. Highly recommend, though. If you guys feel exhausted after like a range session or playing around, I feel like I'm definitely fatigued at this point. I've been live for a while, but it does feel like it's a lot more effortless, and I can kind of conserve my energy and still hit it pretty good with applying the speed in the right place. There would be times in the past where I would hit balls like this, or I would play like a round or two, and I'd feel like really, really sore for a day or two after, which is definitely an indication of very poor technique. Oh, so thin. Can feel a blister forming though on my right palm, or left palm rather. Chunky toey. $160 though. I have a feeling if I ever meet C-Drum in real life, I have a feeling he's got all kinds of game sliders and juicing up his numbers. I feel like I may in real life actually be like about 4 clubs longer than C-Drum, if I had to guess. Love to have the club speed. Anyone heard if it's coming? The score is working on it. All I've heard, they've just been saying it for a while. They keep saying they're working on it. No timeline though. Probably. Uneven par over there. He's been hammering the ball as of late. He's got a full set of P790s though instead of the combo set. What have you been hitting your pitching wedge to? Uneven par if you're still in here? You hit one right next to the pin the other day at Pebble Beach at like 145 or something like that. He's got, if you look up his Instagram, he may have privated it, but he's got a pretty crazy unconventional swing. His backswing is no exaggeration, like this slow on every single shot. Felt like I hit it better, but pulled draw. That should be about 165, maybe just shy. 164.7. That's what I'm looking for, but I just got to start that. Either hit it straight or start a little bit further right. Must be the clubs. The pitching wedge is going anywhere from 140 to 155. I step on it. That's pretty crazy. Definitely partly the clubs, but definitely mostly you. Toey Chunky. Started it right, though. 155. Does the swing look even a little bit better? I feel like I'm hitting it better. Send an IG follow request, I'll grant it. You can all chirp my swing. I would never chirp. I mean, Uneven Par has been pounding it as of late. It's just very. I did a live stream. What was that, like 2 months ago or whatever? I did the Uneven Par drill where I was trying to literally feel like taking the club back as slow as I possibly could. I have every reason to believe you. I think overall, I think Seadrum's actually a pretty nice guy. It just comes to me. I guess I'm like a thorn in his side, and I think all the hate and vitriol and the trolling comes out towards my end. When I was improving my swing, I only hit 1 or 2 balls, then review the video. Maybe it's not the greatest content to watch, but I hope you swing the most. So that is one thing I don't do. I almost never watch back any of these videos. And I have plenty of them to look at. Maybe I'll look at some of these that I feel like on those ones like the 6-iron or whatever that I felt like I hit really good. Maybe I'll watch those back and see if I can pick up on anything. But mainly it's just whether it looks like it or not. I'm just kind of working on some feels, and you got to kind of, like Seadrum was saying, you got to kind of exaggerate some of the feels. So maybe it wouldn't even be a noticeable difference on camera, but swing style is not for everyone, that's for sure. Yeah, the look versus feel saying is very true. What's that? What did I say? Feel is not real. Which is why if you're really working on something to correct it, you got to overdo it one way or the other. Toey. It's close though. I feel like even some of these mishits, like that wasn't necessarily a great shot, but I'm trying to get up to about 160, and even that, it was Toey, and I got up 155. It seems like even on some of these kind of mishits, poor strikes, the results aren't horrendous. Maybe I'm just looking at my results with rose-colored glasses here. Also Toey. Start it further right though, and it's drawn back. Now I just need to do that and actually hit it good. Remembers how different my swing feels and real was last spring? Overhaul my swing. Yeah. Uneven Par was down and out for a while. He was like contemplating. He took like a bunch of time off. Never thought he'd ever hit it good again. I kept telling him just to stick with it. That one has a chance. Kind of swung it like a baseball swing, but all right, we'll take that. 161.3. Started 1 degree right, drew back. I like that. We'll call that good on the 8-iron. 9-iron, I want to see. Usually I play it to 150, 155. That 8-iron, 160, 165. We got 161, so probably want to see 150 on this 9-iron. Those last couple swings, those were all 8 irons, which I usually play to 160, 165. That one was 161. I just switched to the 9 right now. Feels so exaggerated having more weight on my left side. It literally feels like I'm lining up to the ball like this. thin toe. That's not going to be 150. Hey, Jonathan. Appreciate that, man. Welcome to the team. Jonathan, new gold member. We get some W Jonathans in the chat. I can't I wish I could. I can't like it or anything, but I really appreciate that. That's awesome, Jonathan. Thank you very much for that. You will see maybe tomorrow if I post a video. Now you'll see your username at the start and end of every single video. Now you got a cool badge next to your name, and you can put some cool emojis like this with Seadrum. I think now too. Seadrum was nice enough to gift a membership to Spike, who just disappeared, and now we have Jonathan. YouTube limits the amount of like custom emojis you can do with the amount of members you have, but we just got 2, so maybe I can add a couple more. You guys have any like funny emoji requests? Like I have some like Caddyshack type of stuff. I have Tiger. I can pretty much add whatever I want. I don't necessarily, if I had one, like I'm not a big like anger, frustration, club slam, club throw type of guy. If I can think back, if I ever like maybe went like this with my club out of frustration, maybe I could add a screenshot of that. Maybe I'll add like a troll looking figure for Seadrum. Maybe I'll do an old grandpa type of figure for uneven pars, really slow backswing. Early extended, I felt it. I stood up and out of it. Happy Gilmore, Caddyshack, good options. I thought so. Ooh, John Daly smoking a dart. I could do that. Could also do Charlie Hull smoking a dart. Would you guys rather have that? I'll write it down. I have a piece of paper over here. I am planning as well of doing some more like members only type of stuff, like member only live streams and member only videos. Problem is I had 7, now I guess I have 9. It'd only be like 9 people in here. So Augusta National logo. I like that. On the other ones, I tried to stick to, like the Tiger one's not necessarily funny, but obviously you got to have Tiger. I tried to stick to kind of some funnier ones with the Gopher and Happy Gilmore and that kind of stuff. Maybe Bill Murray hitting the flowers from Caddyshack. Beautiful day at Augusta. Cinderella Kid, Cinderella Story. Let's see if I can get all of that one, so to speak. Nah, it was Toey. I did not get all of that one, folks. Lee Trevino from Happy Gilmore. Used to be a greenkeeper, now going to win the Masters. That's such a good movie. I do really like the, obviously not as good as the first, but Caddyshack number 2 is also pretty good. Still holds up. Jackie Mason, whatever that guy's name is. That one. Some of these shots, I did my workout earlier, and literally I did chest, back, and triceps. The first weight that I picked up with my left hand, it tweaked something like down here on like my left wrist. That one, it was almost like sent like kind of like almost felt like I got shocked through my left wrist on that one. Happened one other time too, hitting these shots. I just can't escape these injuries, apparently. Try to do something healthy and work out, and I hurt myself. Same thing with basketball. Ever putt with a wedgie? Maybe we could do something from Tin Cup. We don't have anything from Tin Cup in there. All right, come on. 150. What am I doing here? That one has a chance. Nope, never mind. 134. I think I'm losing speed. That one felt better too. 140. I'm only 2.1 degrees down though. Still way too shallow, I think, for a 9-iron. It's kind of hooking off the planet, but maybe if it gets a bounce. Go! 147.8. It's probably not the best way to improve, to be honest. Trying just to max out my distance, but... Oh, the pros are doing it? No, 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 no. Be the ball. Be the club. Be the 9-iron. Going 150. So chunky. I feel like that's what I start doing. I try to play it further back, and I try to hit down on it more, and I just hit it super, super heavy. That went so high. Turns out I should have just stuck to the longer irons. Man, it is windy out there. Can you guys hear that? Well, tried to stay down and through that. I thinned that really bad. Chest over the ball. Chest over the ball. I don't know if I got it in the tank. Are you tired yet? I'm just sore watching this many shots. I am tired. I am getting sore. But I'm a psycho, so I'm trying. This was supposed to be my cool down. Now it feels like I'm swinging harder and harder. I just want to see 150 with my 9-iron, and then I was going to hit pitching wedges and then call it a day. But I don't know if 150 is in the cards right now after all those shots. All right. Club's going to go down here. Chunky. I do have a little bit of a sweat going, to be honest, despite how cold it is. I may just increase the altitude up to like 10,000 for this one shot. Hit my 9-iron about 170. Not going to get there. Might be heading to the local GS Pro Sim on Thursday. You guys figure out what you're going to play yet? I would advise against Bethpage Black again, if I could give you any advice. I don't know if it's going to happen, folks. I'm trying to swing hard at these two. That one almost fell over. May just have to settle on 145. Not Bethpage Black or anything close to it. I mean, if you play the par threes, you could probably play two courses. I think you should try out a little C drum trash can design par three course. Jurassic Park, Hillbilly Hills, Whoville, Concrete Jungle. Ooh, actually, what you could do on even par, now that I think about it, you may be able to play Exeter by then, possibly. I might give up on this. That was a decent swing too, but it's only 139. That felt all right. I don't think the speed's there anymore. And I'm not even gonna hit pitching wedge. I'm just gonna hit some easier choke down approach wedges and actually try to cool down for about 5-10 minutes and then call it quits. So any final comments, questions, or concerns, put them in now. Appreciate everyone that's watched. This ended up being a pretty long stream. I wasn't planning on going this long, but appreciate anyone that watched before, is watching now, may catch the replay. Shout out to Jonathan for becoming a member. Thanks to C-Drum for gifting a membership to Spike, which he probably doesn't even know about. This may actually be. This went from being my least favorite club in my bag to this may be my favorite club in the bag right now. This choke down, like 3/4 approach wedge shot is just absolutely money from 100 yards. That was 99.9 total. GG's later. I'm not going yet. It's like 5 or 10 minutes, but I guess I could end it now. Oh, as soon as I say that, that was so chunked. I gotta get comfortable with having that much weight on my left side at address. Kind of skinny. Anyone learn anything out of all this or no? Thanks for the time, man. In my sim now, do some work. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Thank all you're out now. Stick around. Yeah, like 5 minutes. What time is it? We'll go. It's 3:36. We'll go until 3:45, so 9 minutes. See if we can get one at 100 yards on the dot. That one's going to be just shy of it. 95.3. Learn what not to do hitting golf balls. Hey, that's something. Do what I. What's that? What's that saying? What do you usually tell your kids? Do what I follow what I say, not what I do, type of thing. $98.8. That was right. Healy. I was thinking, I wish I had like a cool kind of trick shot I could do, but this may be my my really cool party trick. You guys ever see anyone hit an approach wedge 100 yards on the dot? This is what I do this to impress people. Keeps being like that 93 carry. I need like 2 extra yards. 2.5. Oh, it's way chunky and toey. I'm trying to think. I posted Whoville today. I don't remember what I did after that the other day when I recorded it. I don't know what the next video is going to be. We may both be surprised together. I think I recorded like 3 or 4 the other day. I did the colliders first. I did Whoville. Oh, I did that Starlight pitch and putt. That may have been the next one. That's what I did. I did the colliders, Whoville, Starlight Pines, pitch and putt, and then I did Bootlegger's Lair. Little sneak peek of videos to come. That was right. Any goals for the upcoming encore season? Well, it wasn't until 2 weeks ago, but number one, I feel like my knee's back to 100%. Number two, my main goal in the off season and going into next season is I want to get my driver ball speed up to low to mid 160s. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I think that's my main goal. Besides that, obviously just shoot better rounds. But driver's been really, really bad as of late. So I really want to work on adding some speed. The way I hit most of my irons today, I feel like that's an improvement. So I don't necessarily think, obviously my entire game could use work, but generally speaking, I'm pretty decent with chipping on course. Putting, I've been doing a ton of those putting streams, so that should help. Irons, I guess, across the board, hit a little more solid and more consistent. And then the big one, like I said, being driver. Good news is I'm actually cooling down. Bad news is this shot's going shorter and shorter. What about you guys? You have any big goals? I had my best ever year last year, which is good. So it'd be nice if I can improve on that. Last season I shot 2 under on 9, 1 under on 9. I shot even, I think 2 or 3 times. Had a handful of rounds of like 1 or 2 over. And then as far as 18, my best score was in Florida. I posted that. I went 3 over 3 over for a 78. So something around like, I mean, maybe even par for an 18-hole round. Maybe. That's kind of a lofty goal. One, keep my ball in play at all costs off the tee. 2, greens in regulation from 100 yards and in. 3, try to get my handicap from 9 to 7-ish. Last one won't be easy. I don't know. I think you can. You've been playing. You still play a ton. You've been playing good as of late. I got my handicap down. I was like a 8.6, 8.9, whatever it was, just shy of 9. And now after my Florida trip, I'm at exactly a 10.0. So I think if I have a few pretty decent rounds on course, I could probably get that down to maybe 6 or 7, possibly. You got to figure, though, the way the handicap system works, I get it takes into account what tees you're playing and what course you're playing in terms of like the slope and the index and all that type of stuff. But if you're able to string together like 2 or 3 pretty low rounds, like a couple over par, which I don't think is out of the question, if you're able to do that, your handicap's the average of your 8 best scores out of 20. So you may not be a 7 the entire year, but I wouldn't be surprised if you get it down to 7 at some point, and then either go slightly up or down from there. Ooh, 100.6. Cedro sent me a picture the other day. He made a Fugazi handicap for a tournament he played in. He put himself down as like a 5 point something handicap. Maybe his goal is to get to scratch on his handicap. Most shots I hit this offseason are 150 and in. I had so many strokes for missing the green with the wedge, so frustrating. Yeah, I hear that. I think, good example with this right now, hitting the same shot. I did a bunch of those hole-in-one challenges right around. I tried to keep it between like 90 and like 105, so I was hitting this basically 100-yard shot every single time. I do feel like that will become a strong point in my game this offseason just because I did so many of those hole-in-one challenges from that distance. What's he working on? Just watching? Just wrapping up, unfortunately, Daniel. I said I was going to leave at right now 3:45, but I just hit balls for like, I don't know, almost 3 hours. Exactly 3 hours right now. I was working on, did the pause drill for a lot. C-Drum was giving me some tips. Basically, the main thing was slowing down my backswing, letting my hands drop a bit more at the top, and then stepping on the gas from like hip to knee height is the main thing I was working on. If you go back, I did hit a few decent ones. Also working on just making sure my knee doesn't fall apart. All right. Anyone in here, though, if you want to catch me when I go live again. Oh, man, that was bad. I cannot end on that. If you want to see me go live and get notified, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. And as of late, I've been going live about every single day. So likely it'll be sometime tomorrow. Seemed like this was a slightly more popular time. It's always kind of hit or miss, and you never know with YouTube. Sometimes streams at nighttime do better, sometimes morning, sometimes afternoon. So maybe I just got a little bit lucky in terms of some of the viewership, but it's possible maybe tomorrow, right around the same time, 12, 1 o'clock or something. Likely will not be hitting 3 hours worth of balls, but if I do, maybe a couple par 3 courses, something like that. Don't forget to leave a like, or even better yet, you could leave a like. You could also leave a comment on another video. That would help. Shout out Jonathan, though, and C-Drum for gifting a membership. That is greatly appreciated. I did the three cheapest options on YouTube for a reason, but to me, it's just kind of some confirmation that you guys at least somewhat enjoy all the work that I put in, and kind of gives me some positive momentum to spend some more time doing it. I hit 45 irons, still hitting it good. Got to keep it up. Winning streak at the Sim Bar Thursday. That's awesome. And hopefully you keep playing well. Ride that momentum, baby. Because we all know sooner or later, a little bit of a downturn and a slump will probably be around the corner. But you just got to try to not get too low and too down in the dumps during those times, and try your best. You want to enjoy it when you're hitting it well, but try your best not to get too high on times that you're hitting it well. And slowly but surely, grind that swing. Oh, the word I was thinking for before was groove. Groove my swing. Slowly but surely, groove your swing into a slightly less bad one. I think that's the goal. Your playing partners are toast. Well done. Well done. All right. One more about 95 yards of carry, and I'm out of here. .93.2, but it kind of faded. I don't love that. We'll take that. A little bit of an overdraw, or it was actually kind of a pull draw. It started 0.3 left, but 102.2, 97.9 carry. We'll take that. Hopefully burnt toast. Nice shot. Yeah, I mean, those are easy. I've just been hitting so many of those, but all right, I'm out of here. Until next time, appreciate you guys watching. Have a good rest of your day. If you're curious, you want to go watch some more golf, I believe Mick Golfin TV is live right now. He's doing a 1 club challenge. I'm going to go pop over there into the live chat. So if you guys want to hang out there and watch some actual on-course golf, good channel to go do so. But if you do, I'll catch you over there. See you guys.